Shalom, all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai Bahasham, Racha Kwadash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of the great millstone, and salutations to all you sincere Akim. And you Akim already know what this video is about. Okay, we are going into evolution a little bit, the hoax that is evolution. And you saw the first video in the post production, which is basically going into, the evolutionary process of whales, okay, which of course, if you listen to these scientists, right, these so-called quote unquote scientists, or what we should call them is pseudo scientists, they'll tell you about how evolution is basically how animals evolve over time due to environmental changes, right? Let's get it in the let's get the definition for the word evolution, which of course is folly, all right, wickedness. If you want to really, if you really want to go into it, but let's just get the definition of evolution, and it reads: descent with modification from pre-existing species, cumulative inherited change in a population of organisms through time, leading to the appearance of new forms, the process by which new species or populations of living things develop from pre-existing forms through successive generations. Okay, and basically the ideology that animals can change their forms, okay, or can mutate their their appearances due to environmental changes, which of course, according to the scriptures, is false, because what you have in evolution, and that's video of the whale is a good example of that. Basically, they are saying that a land animal, the land animal evolves to be a sea animal, okay, which of course is against the scriptures. And you could come out here, I could come out here and bring out some scientific papers, okay, or documents or scientific evidence to prove that, all right, the theory of evolution, which is of course pseudoscience, is not real. But as a man of the Lord, as a prophet, okay, what we use to prove that the evolution is not true is by going into the scriptures. And if you do not believe what I say, or if you do not believe what the scriptures say, Salakia, because it's not me that is saying it, it's the words of the Most High, Yahweh Basham Yahweh. If you don't believe this, and if you do not believe the scriptures, Romans 3, verse 3. So this is the book of Genesis 1, verse 20, and it reads, and the Most High Yahweh Ba'asham Yahushai said, let the waters bring forth abundantly the moving creature that hath life, and fowl that may fly above the earth, and in the open firmaments of heaven. And the Most High Yahweh Ba'asham Yahushai created great whales, and every living creature that moveth, which the waters brought forth abundantly after their kind, and every winged fowl after his kind. And the Most High Yahweh Ba'asham Yahushai saw it that it was good. Okay, and basically the main point being that creation was perfected, and not only perfected but fully formed. Okay, so there was no need for evolution, there was no need for one species to change into another species, there was no need for, you have different animals, like they say the hippopotamus, the dolphin, and the whale all have the same ancestor, but they evolved in different ways. And that's not true, because all these animals I just mentioned, hippos, dolphins, whales, they are different animals, and they did not evolve to be different, but they were made different by the Most High Yahweh Basham Yahushai. Okay, so all of creation was already made the way they appear right now, showing you that there is no evolution. Okay, and even if you go back far enough in your history of science, you see in secular, scientific history, quote unquote, I think that's anthropology, right? You will see what I'm saying is the same thing, okay? It's the truth. But let's continue, all right? Because even more precepts and more scriptures go into disproving the theory of evolution. That is exactly what it is. It is a theory, because there is no scientific basis for it. Okay, there is no basis for it in actual, if you go into the actual science, which is the knowledge, all right, nobody knows for certain whether it is true or not. So now let's get this as well. So this is the book of First Corinthians 15, verse 39 and verse 39, and it reads, okay, let me start from the top. First Corinthians 15, verse 38. But the Most High Yahweh Ba'asham Yahushai giveth it a body, as it hath pleased him, and to every seed his own body. All flesh is not the same flesh, but there is one kind of flesh of men, another flesh of beasts, another of fishes, and another of birds. There are also celestial bodies and bodies terrestrial, but the glory of the celestial is one, and the glory of the terrestrial is another. There is one glory of the sun, another glory of the moon, another glory of the stars, for one star differeth from another star in glory. Okay, and basically there are separations in different animals, okay, separations in different creatures, not all flesh, okay, not just because they are all mammals or they are all, quote unquote primates, okay, it does not make them the same flesh of the same animal. All animals are different and they were created differently by the Most High Yahweh Shai. That's another thing right there, because if you go into the theory of evolution, basically it makes it seem as though life was formed independent of the Most High Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, which of course is incorrect, because we know that all things were created for the. Well, let me just get that. Let me just get that. Let me just get that. Thou art worthy, O Lord, for thou hast created all things, and for thy pleasure thou wert create. I forgot how that precept goes. Let me just find this. Thou art worthy, O Lord, for thou hast created all things, and for thy pleasure they are and were created. That's it. They are and were created. Here it is. Revelation 4, verse 11, and it reads, Thou art worthy, O Yahweh, to receive glory and honor and power, for thou hast created all things, and for thy pleasure they are and were created. And if you go into the book of Hebrews, the first chapter, if you go into the book of Hebrews, the first chapter, no, sorry, not Hebrews, the first chapter. Yeah, Hebrews, the first chapter as well. John, the third chapter, and Genesis, the first chapter. It shows you the creation, okay, and how things were created. And we just read the book of Genesis, the first chapter, and how the Most High Yahweh through his angels, the powers, okay, the gods that you see in the book of Genesis. And I said the Most High. Let me just make a quick correction right now. Okay, when I was reading Genesis, the first chapter, I said the Most High Yahweh Yahushai when he says God. But what I should have actually said is the powers, okay? Because it wasn't just the Most High Yahweh Yahushai that was there. It was also the elect, the angels that were involved in the creation with our Lord Yahushai. So in the book of Genesis, the first chapter, it's not actually God, because the word that is here is Elohim. It's like not Elohim, Alahayam. I always got that's the blue letter. That's too much blue letter talking right there. But I got this Alahayam, which means a plural. Okay, that's all I wanted to really get. It's plural for gods. Okay, judges, divine rulers. Basically, it's plural for the for the gods. Okay, which of course you should know that the Israelites, we as Israelites, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians, you are gods as well, because you are the children of the Most High Yahweh Basham Yahushai. And I also want to get this word, Tawab. I think the word should be Tawab, which is good. When he talks about how all the creations of the Most High Yahweh Basham Yahushai are good, the word is Tawab. And the word is Tawab, and it reads good, pleasant, agreeable, pleasant to the higher nature, good, excellent of its kind, good, rich, valuable in estimation, good, appropriate, becoming, better, comparative, glad, happy, prosperous, good, understanding, good, kind, benign, good, right. Okay, I am basically saying all the terminologies or all the words I use for the word good. Basically, what it means is that all of creation was created perfectly, okay, complete and entire, wanting nothing. So there was no need for evolution or an appendment during its life, during its creation. There was no need for a species of it to, suddenly mutate and change into something else. because of environment, quote unquote, environmental factors. Okay, because the Most High Yahweh Hashem Yahushai has I wanted to say he has perfected praise, but no, he has perfected his creation, and even the flaws that you see in creation, and that's another thing right there, because these people of the world, what they showing you that you people in the world, you wagi Christians, even you so-called scientists that think they are so intelligent, you don't understand the creation, you don't understand creation, you don't understand how the Most High, how Hashem Yahshua perfected his creation, because even the flaws were done on purpose, okay? Showing, once again, the Most High, how Hashem Yahshua does not make mistakes. So even the flaws you see in his creations, all the quote unquote birth defects, right? Diseases, right? Different mental ailments and illnesses, all those things were made or were created or were put there on purpose, okay, made purposely, that man might have his pride removed from him. The same reason why you have no free will, in order to show you that truly that without the Most High Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, especially you Jakes out there, that you are nothing. Okay. So yeah, I just wanted to not really going to go too deep into this. This isn't going to be a long video anyway, because we already know the folly of evolution, and even the scriptures goes into that, because that they are all these are all the imaginations of the wicked. Okay. Because like I said, this theory of evolution, this whole evolution thing is one of the imaginations of the wicked, in order to try and basically take the glory from the Most High Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. Okay, its opposition of science is falsely so called. So okay, I'm trying to get this preset, but it's not coming out. So it's a book of First Timothy 6, verse 20, and it reads, O Timothy, keep that which is committed to thy trust, avoid profane and vain babblings and oppositions of science falsely so called. And we'll get this word science, okay, just to show you what the word actually means. And basically it goes into, in the Greek, it means dosis. Okay, this is strong G1108. Let me get the audio.
Strong's G1108. Gnosis.
And the word is knowledge signifies in general intelligence, understanding. And that is exactly what science really means. Okay. So even this truth is science as well, because it is based on the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, the true science according to the Most High Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. And that's why once again we call it the truth. Alright. And if you go into the word math, which of course math is one of the building blocks of science, okay, the word math, it goes back to the Hebrew and math, which of course all the things that are in this world, all the topics and the subjects are based off the scriptures and based off the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of the Most High Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. Okay, which is why the scriptures tell you that Jacob is the former of all things. Alright. The portion of Jacob is not like the rest, because he is the former of all things. And if you really want to go into it, most people, the elect, or the ones that are created, they were joined with our Lord, with the Most High and Yahweh Shai, in order to create all of creation. So we truly are the former of all things. And not only that, but also going into all of the inventions and the innovations and the different things you see on the earth today. It's also has our people involved in making them. Okay. But yeah, the main point being just to highlight that once again, just to highlight that there is no such thing as evolution. All things were created as they were by the Most High Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. And the way they look now, okay, the way you see these different species of animals that exist today, the way you see them as, is the same way they were all throughout history, and they will continue to appear as. Okay, so I'll end the video right there. So with that, all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Racha, Kodash, Wa Abad Babal, and through the Spirit. I hope you are came and you are quite edified. Shalom.